Get it all out.
Get the airways going. Get the airways. I've got coffee, so I can just sip this. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the podcast.
Hello.
Mind Over Madness. It's been a little while.
It has.
So much so we're actually in 2024 now.
Yeah, our bodies have changed.
You're telling me, yeah.
We all look 10 years older.
I feel 10 years older. It's
Yeah.
wonderful. But
Yeah, hopefully everyone had a happy Christmas and a good New Year start.
Yes.
But did you have a good Christmas and New Year?
It was an interesting one. I mean, a lot has happened. There has been a bereavement in my family in the new year, which was always a good way to start. And then, obviously, background is now different again. That's great. But other than that, it's been okay. I can't really complain too much. There's some stuff going on in the background now, which hopefully will be very good for me, but is going to limit my time a little. So we'll see. But I'll talk about that in the next podcast once that's all set in stone and I know answers for that stuff.
Yeah.
Overall, I've been okay. Playing some games, doing some streaming. How about you? How's work been? How's life been treating you?
Yeah, everything's been going all right. Had a little break over the Christmas period and stuff, and it's getting back into it now. But Christmas was nice. It's just kind of a small one. It was local because I didn't leave the house. New Year was quite interesting as well. Just low key, chilled, and
Oh, sounds good.
But and then New Year, New Year, new me. So
New year, new me.
decided to go and get a little eye test, and was like, okay, yeah, I've been dealing with this fucking blurriness for long enough. I will just go and get one. So I decided to get one, and and here we are today. I literally picked up my glasses about 1.5 hours ago.
Ooh.
So this is the first time I'm using. Probably have a blistering headache later because it takes a while to get used to them. But it's only a kind of a small prescription, but with like some slight astigmatism in this eye is a bit weird. But yeah, that's why we get glasses, to improve our quality of life. And
Of course.
I only need them for like focusing and driving and like working on the computer and gaming, of course. So I don't have to wear them all of the time. But I'm just trying to wear them as much as possible now. To get used to them, because it is a bit of a weird effect to get used to.
I remember when I first got my glasses, when I had to have glasses for a little while because I had damage in one of my eyes. It was weird. Like, I praise people that have to wear glasses all the time because just how frustrating it must be to have to clean them and maintain them.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. They came fresh, so I'm wondering how long it'll take before they get fucking dirty and annoys the hell out.
Minutes.
Yeah, probably by the end of this when I'm sweated.
Oh, God. Yeah. Oh.
Little Lola says hi.
Little Lola on the floor just chilling out.
But yes, I don't even remember how we do these things anymore.
I know, it's been so long. Shall we
Talk about the news?
Jump straight into the news? Yes. Let's chat. We've got a few things lined up. Of course, Robin has sent us quite a few things that we can discuss and talk about.
I can't scroll up that far, Robin. Sorry.
No. We've got a couple.
We've definitely got some. You have got some.
So, do you want to start? Or...
Well, you can tell we've been doing a lot of podcasts because like all this, I'm on the last page of my bloody scrapbook thing here.
God. Yeah,
mostly podcasts. But yes, shall we talk a little bit about the post office scandal?
Ooh.
Now, I don't know a ton about this, but apparently there's some kind of technical glitch with the computer software or something when these went from like analog to digital, and staff were blamed for like taking money from people, but apparently it was just a glitch or something.
Yeah, they believed the computer over like actual people, wasn't it?
And so some of them like went to prison and got fined, and like even though they was paid the fine, they went to prison as well. Like what they decided to make an example of them basically, and now it's come out that it was all like just a glitch and like not their fault. Yeah, and people are very upset, and there was a TV series about it, which a lot of people have said, which has brought this to attention, which I haven't seen yet, but
no,
I do plan to watch it maybe.
Yeah.
sometime.
I mean, yeah, when you see something like this, so this is a BBC article, but it basically says the Post Office threatened and lied to the BBC in a failed effort to suppress key evidence that helped clear postmasters in the Horizon scandal, which was back in 2015, apparently. So, I mean, the fact that it went on for that long, I'm not really surprised that threatening the BBC and all this shit happens. Like, we all know the big companies like to hide their mistakes so they don't get blamed.
Yeah,
It happens all the
someone
time.
will have known about this at the top.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
They'll just go, oh, let's just leave it.
So
What's done is done.
my basic knowledge of it is that they had like they had like a computer algorithm that was doing the work and working out the math, and that basically was wrong. But instead of just owning their mistake and being like, "Oh well, we messed up. Sorry, we'll correct it," they just went, "No. It's clearly people stealing money." It's like, all right. So, yeah.
So it's a completely shit situation, basically. But now I think people are calling for the bosses to, give something back to these people.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially people that went to prison for doing nothing wrong. Like,
I know, yeah. What the hell? Yeah. Just doing their job.
But yeah, apparently the Post Office has declined to comment while the public inquiry is ongoing. So, which is not a shock. Most companies won't comment on stuff if, they're, in a public
ongoing case.
Yeah. Apparently they have enormous regret for what's happened. All right. But there's an entire, I'm not going to read this entire fucking article because it's very long, but there's an entire section of smears and false claims going through everything about all the different people that were accused, that kind of thing. I'll leave a link to the article down below so people can go and look at it. But yeah, it's clearly what do you say on something like this? It's disgusting that people's lives were changed permanently for a while because they had criminal records, they were charged with stuff they hadn't done. I mean, are we really going to see anything, probably for those people? Probably not.
God knows.
Or like a small sum or something. Here's £20. We're sorry. Get yourself a meal. That kind of attitude towards it. But
get yourself a sandwich from Harrods.
The thing that gets me though is, and I mean, I guess this isn't shocking. We've talked about this on the podcast before. It's like obviously there's corruption in the police force. There was for decades. In the UK, and it's just like, why did no one in the police or the judge system point stuff out that was clearly key evidence? It just, I don't know, it baffles me that's to this day, even despite the fact we have these systems in place to protect people, they fail all the time.
It's when the financial gains would get hit by if anything came out, then they try and protect all of their assets and everyone goes quiet for some reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully the justice will get done and these people get some, compensation.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, and we'll learn from this, hopefully.
We hope.
Do we ever?
I think there are times that we learn, but I feel like a lot of the times it just gets swept under the rug. It's the same with anything, isn't it? It's like, hey, we made a mistake, but look at this new thing we're doing, and just immediately pulls away from. I think that's the problem with online media. It just the next day there's something new. So
yeah,
I mean Ukraine war.
The longer things go on for, the less interested the public are in it, and it starts to get swept to the 7th page or 8th page of newspapers and stuff like that. People aren't really interested anymore, which is sad because it's still like probably one of the most important things. But
it is.
But hey. Katie Price got a new engagement ring or something. Far more important.
Of course, yeah, of course. Or, fucking some shitty fucking article trying to out Taylor Swift as being gay when she's not. That's a thing, by the way. That recently happened. I guess we can have a quick ganders about that. So Taylor Swift had an article made on her by some fucking publication where they were trying to essentially say that she was gay and she was hiding it, which isn't true. By the way, Taylor Swift has said many times she isn't gay. She just supports the community. But think pieces like that get clicks. So
yeah,
and I think it goes.
I don't really get this obsession with like, oh my god, are they gay? Are they straight?
I don't get it.
It's like,
who gives a shit?
I know. Even if she was, it wouldn't even be worthy of news.
Yeah, not just that, but it's like, it's her fucking life. Let her do what she wants. Yeah,
it's just like ridiculous. It's clutching at straws with like trying to bring things up. Uh,
Maybe we're just getting too old for it
that
now.
tabloid.
I don't know, but just bullshit that doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's just it.
No.
Tabloid headlines getting you.
Yep. All right.
Um,
Should we have a quick chat? Another thing Robin sent us, which was the Barry teacher strike, which was this was published 2 days ago, so we're not too far out on it. Over being abused in class by pupils.
yeah,
Teachers are striking at a high school where a union says there have been more than 50 serious incidents of verbal and physical abuse since September. The Vale of Glamorgan Council said it was taking steps to improve the working environment. I mean, we've talked about this before, how teachers are treated and stuff, and how kids are these days, and you know, I mean, is it shocking that we hear that I mean, I've got an LSO in my family, and she said many times that there's always kids that are going to be abusive, violent.
disruptive.
Yeah, disruptive. Let's say disruptive to be
It's PG.
yeah, but I mean, I don't know. How do you fix the problem? It kind of comes up to an upbringing,
It's because like they used to have separate schools for like the really disruptive ones, and obviously there are some separate ones for kids with like autism and different mental conditions, which is that's quite right. But they should like have more funding for those and stuff because it's not fair when everyone's kind of lumped together in one classroom. And one kid, all it takes is one kid to be disrupted, and all 29. It affects everyone's learning, doesn't it?
I think especially with autism and things as well, is it's more difficult for children with those kinds of conditions to learn and to actually pay attention. Like they have issues with focusing and concentrating, so they need more time and attention to help them learn. And I think in a normal school system, you're not going to get that, and they don't have the infrastructure for it. I remember when I was in school, I got put in literally what was called the special needs class. Literally, that's what we were called, the specials. Like that's
The special.
and it's crazy to think that that's what 15 years ago. That's not that long ago.
Yeah.
And it's still a problem to this day. And it's like, Christ, how are we still?
We used to have like set 1, set 2, set 3, and it's like everyone or the one below that was probably a different one.
Yeah,
but I don't think they ever called them special.
Literally,
special.
it's not even a joke. Like there was, I remember there was like 7 of us, and we'd always be pulled out, like period 4 or something, or if it was like maths or something, we get pulled out and put in like a separate sort of room. But all it was us playing games on the computer. Like we weren't taught anything, and obviously being a kid, I was like, oh, this is wonderful, this is great. I just get to play games for an hour. Whereas now I look back on it and I'm like, I probably could have done with a bit more guidance. Like. Yeah. Would have helped, especially with the exams, but
they probably just don't even do that. They don't like remove the disruptive kids from classrooms. It's like, well, if my area is anything to go by, the kids just walk around willy nilly, like up and down our road, and this is like they must just let them out. Right? If you're not going to behave, just go. Which is probably good for the class, but now just wreak havoc on the town, and the town is going to look after you. Yeah. Which is a bit annoying, but you can't tar 100% with the 1%. Bloody disruptive ones, and it all stems from the parents anyway. Unless it's like a mental condition or whatever, but it's a difficult one.
It's a tough one because
and they do have the right to strike. Obviously, it's terrible what they're being subjected to, and they don't have to be.
I mean, I think the thing is, as well, as it's a safety thing as well. It's not just about education and things like that. It's also there are good teachers that are leaving the profession because they can't deal with it anymore. It's too stressful. They're not paid enough. They they don't have enough help. And I think that's probably something that I remember in school is that the teachers that gave a shit, but they just couldn't do anything. They were just kind of stuck in this sort of, well, I can't, all I can do is throw the kid out. I can't do any more than that. But that just disrupts their education as well. Like, all right, it's great for the rest of the class. They can get on, but that kid's education is still going to be damaged by that. It's hard to try and, I guess, help everybody, but, the fact that this is mostly in Wales as well doesn't shock me.
Oh, it happens everywhere, I'm sure.
But yeah, this strike is happening in Wales, as far as we know. Anyway, I don't know if there's other places that are hoping to unionize and make it a better, safer environment. But yeah, it's What a shock.
Probably in Bridgend as well.
I wouldn't put it past it. No. It's yeah, it wouldn't shock me. I know there's a lot of teachers. I don't know if do you ever keep on top of like your school and where you went and if the teachers are still there, if they're the same or changed?
I don't, not particularly.
I think the last time I
No.
checked, I think like 80% of the teachers that were there when I was there are gone now. Like they're not there anymore.
Okay.
They've left. Um, whether they've gone to another school or whatever, I don't know. I'm not a stalker, but
Yeah.
when I went to visit, I think I visited there when I was 23, I think, something like that. I went up for a day just to sort of have a look around, and it had obviously changed a lot. It looked more like a prison.
Yeah. It would be nice to like go and have a look, see
Yeah.
what it's like now.
And I got to see a couple of like teachers that I remembered and ones that I got along with, and then they were just like, yeah, most of the teachers are gone now. Like, there's barely anyone here that when you were here. And I think at that point, it would have been, like 6, maybe 7 years at a push that I hadn't been in that school. So I mean, within that time to have 80% turnover, that's a big fucking number.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah, that's not great. Obviously, I must have had like a change of leadership as well, because I know that has a big effect on people,
there was a
the
new
morale
head,
and
yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
I
because
know
my
the
mum
head
was
just
a
left.
teaching assistant for like pretty much most of her career, and she ended up leaving, taking early retirement because she was placed with all the really
Shit.
interesting kids. So
Yeah.
and then they were like slapping the teachers, and and she wore glasses, and like they were hitting them in the face and stuff like that. And
God.
she was like, "Yeah, I just if this is where it's going, I'm not putting up with this. You don't get paid enough for that."
No.
Um,
I mean, I know when I was in school, don't get me wrong, I wasn't perfect. I made a lot of jokes. I was disruptive in class. I made a lot of jokes. I was very silly. I got thrown out of a few classes. Like that happened. But I would never, put my hands on a teacher. I never hit a,
No.
I can't imagine going
there's,
that extra
there's still
step.
that level of respect back then with
Yeah.
your elders, where even if you were the shittest kid in class, you wouldn't hit
I think
or
the
be
only
violent.
thing, I mean, the only story I probably have that could kind of relate to that in school was there was a kid when I used to have my maths class. There was a kid who used to throw. I can't remember if it was maths or science actually. It might have been maybe both, but he used to like constantly throw paper at like the teacher. That's it. But there was like stories in my school of like one of the teachers got locked in a closet for an hour, like by 3 of her pupils. Like
Jesus.
that's not normal. That's not normal behavior. It's not acceptable behavior. All right. That at that point you're not talking about kids with like special needs. I say that term very loosely. It's what I was raised with. It's what I got called in school.
Yeah.
Kids with learning difficulties. And then kids just being assholes. Like there's a big difference. So. And I think, unfortunately, these days it tends to be. I think a lot of children don't. I don't know if it's a case of morals or like they're not raised with like you should try and be respectful if you can kind of attitude.
Well,
But
the kids going to school these days, well, their parents will have like been on that place where the respect starts to go out the window, and they start to know what they can and cannot get away with, and so they can answer the teachers back, and they can do anything because they're not going to get punished for it.
yeah,
And so they like transfer their values onto their kids, and now the kids, like every year it kind of gets worse and worse and worse.
it is crazy to me how
Bring
bad
back
it's
corporal punishment.
I mean, look, I don't think hitting kids works, but I do think there needs to be a system in place.
Like we were never hit when we were in school, but we still had a little bit of respect. And,
Actually, I did have a history teacher. I loved him to pieces. He unfortunately has passed away now. I heard about that, but that was a few years ago. But there was a kid in my history class who always just wouldn't shut the fuck up. And I really enjoyed history, so I was one of the people disrupted for once instead of doing the disrupting.
Yeah.
But he threw a board rubber at his head. Literally, full on threw it at his head, and it bounced off. And he went, "You going to shut up now, or can I continue my class?" And he got reprimanded outside. And he went, "How many kids in my class passed their GCSEs?" And they went, "Well, it's 98%." He went, "Exactly. So don't tell me how to teach in my classroom." I went back in. And it worked. He was never like. It's not like he didn't. Let me like preference this by saying it wasn't like a board rubber with like a wooden back or anything. It was just sponge.
It's just kind of something to shock.
Yeah, it was like a shock. He was like, "You can't do that to me," and he went, "Then report me." And he never got in trouble. But everyone passed his class. Like you had respect for him, and I think maybe that's not the way to go, but there needs to be a system in place that's sort of not just, hey, you have detention or you have to sit, you're isolated for a day, because no kid gives a shit about being isolated for a day.
Yeah.
They're like, cool, I'll just sit here, have my legs up, and do nothing for the day.
I seem to remember it really depended on the teacher, but if they were like, you could really like tell if that teacher was angry or if they were, congratulating you or whatever. But that you could really judge the environment by how the teacher like commanded the presence of everyone.
Yeah,
and
confidence. I think it's hard for teachers to have confidence.
Yeah, because I wouldn't be able to do it. Like, I'd probably get bullied out of the bloody school by the kids.
I'm leaving. They're dickheads. I don't want to.
Yeah. I'm literally being bullied out of the teacher. Yeah, I'd be too nice for that. Okay.
No, crazy.
But yeah, fair enough though. Hopefully they get some action.
Yeah, hopefully some support would be nice for them, I think.
Yeah, and reduce the amount of class size. Reduce the class sizes. Yeah, it's like 30 kids is way too.
What I don't get is just fund the education system so you can have more teachers and smaller classrooms. I think that would be easier for everyone, wouldn't it? Like, I think there was 32 kids normally in a class when I was in school, and now I'm hearing there's like 45 to 50. It's like, that's impossible.
No, it's one teacher.
You can't, it's not possible. Like, you're not going to be able to control 50 kids. Like, no.
But yeah. Shall we talk about something else then?
Yes. Go
on. All I've got here is a new Universal Studios theme park in the UK.
Yeah.
Which let me just do a quick Google it. That'll bring a lot of jobs into like the country. It's good that we get a bit of recognition because there's nothing really here that is like on the same level as Universal Studios or Disney or things like that. We've got Alton Towers, we've got Thorpe Park, and there's a few others, but none of them are really internationally recognised.
Yeah, I think it would definitely be the biggest attraction in the UK.
Yeah.
And I think there's nothing that's been set in stone as of yet. I think Universal did come forward and say a statement along the lines of, we don't know what we're doing with the plot yet. We're still in the very, very early planning phases of stuff. But it would be, we would love to have, that sort. It's sort of PR speak. It's like, we'd love to be there though, because obviously more money for them, more attractions and stuff. But they're also looking at the logistics of it from behind the scenes. So
yes. How much are you going to charge for a hot dog? That is the most important.
And are they going to be UK hot dogs, or are we talking American hot dogs? The things that are fucking massive. Wieners.
Wiener schnitzel.
Wiener schnitzel. Yeah. I mean, look, I think it would be really cool if we did have a Universal here. I think one of the biggest shames is that you see all these adverts all the time about going away on holiday and going to Universal and stuff, and it's like a lot of people can't afford that. So it'd be cool to have one in the UK where it's more accessible and stuff can be done. But yeah, I mean, we're talking probably, if not longer, a decade or so over before anything would probably be built.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, it'd be cool. I think it'd be a very cool thing to have.
It would bring a lot of interest into this country, a bit more.
Yeah. More people would be interested.
Happy about that.
Oh, excuse me.
Have you got any more new stuff?
I've got 3 more, but they're quite quick ones. So I thought we'd go with something a little different that we don't normally do. But a huge ancient city was found in the Amazon. So
it was Uncharted.
Yeah, it's very Uncharted. I wonder if there's a Nathan Drake there.
Or Lara Croft. Laura Croft.
Laura Croft.
Little version.
It was hidden for thousands of years by lush vegetation. The discovery changes what we know about the history of people living in the Amazon. The houses and plazas in the Upano area in eastern, Ucada were connected by an astonishing, astounding network of roads and canals. Again, I'll leave the article down below so people can look at it. But essentially, the city was built around 2,500 years ago. People lived there for up to 1,000 years. I thought that was just quite a fascinating, cool little thing. We never talk about stuff like this, and I think we do talk about a lot of miserable topics on here. So I thought, let's inject a bit of happiness to the new year.
But I like misery.
I like depression.
I like depression.
I'm British.
I watch depression. I feel depression. I am depression.
Oh, we'll be talking about that. Don't worry. The leftovers.
Oh, look forward to that.
But yeah, no, it's very, very fascinating. And recently I found myself getting it more. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older, but like I'm finding myself watching more documentaries and stuff like about stuff like this. I just find it fascinating to learn about, how long stuff was there, new technologies that are helping us find certain things. So yeah, if you're interested, link to the article will be down below for you guys, so you can go and check it out. But what's your sort of take on sort of finding these ancient sort of towns and cities and stuff buried under rubble?
Yeah, it's like quite amazing. It's like I'm always interested in like the history of everything and finding things that haven't been discovered yet. It's always like a triumph, and we can always learn from it.
Yeah,
and yeah, and it'd be nice to it'd be nice to go and visit. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. I don't know what else to say, but it is a good triumph to be able to find things that haven't been discovered before, and imagine what else hasn't been discovered before. I mean, we probably only scratched the surface. I mean, what is under all the seas?
Yeah, exactly.
What is on the seabed?
I wonder. Well, I mean, I still find the most fascinating thing I've ever heard was the connection that the UK has to like, the mainland sort of, instead of being an island, that's all undersea, like underwater now.
Yeah.
And it was I saw a video on it before from, I think it was called Geographics on YouTube. Fascinating, absolutely fascinating to learn about that. So yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it, but I love stuff like this.
Yeah.
But let us continue on.
Right, that's enough happiness.
Enough happiness. Let us continue on with our misery. We're going to talk briefly about this because I mean, there's not really much to say, but it's still important to talk about. Is the Ukraine-Russia war, which is still going on somehow. Yeah. But I'm just going to go through the last two updates that have gone on. So, we're not going to go over absolutely everything, but these are the most recent things that have come up since we last talked about it. Which is that Rishi Sunak and Vladimir Zelensky are set to hold a press conference in Ukraine this afternoon, literally the day we're recording this, after the UK government announces it was providing a new 2.5 billion in military aid packages coming over the next year. Yeah. He's actually visited, by the way. He is in Ukraine at the moment.
It's good that he's there. I've not really heard many more world leaders like everyone kind of did their cycle at the start, didn't they? Like, oh yeah, Joe Biden visits Ukraine, and it's like a big publicity thing. But you could tell there's like Secret Service and whatever protecting him.
Yeah,
like he's not in the thick of it.
No.
Obviously Boris Johnson set the standards by being first visit. I don't know. It's hard to give him credit because he was obviously
a cock
at that time, deflecting from what he was doing back in this country. But it's a shame with Ukraine because things kind of just get forgotten about, and if it doesn't affect you, then it's not important anymore, according to the media.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's definitely, I mean, we've talked about this behind the scenes, obviously, when we're doing the podcast. It's like, we've talked about this many times. Every time we've done a show, we're like, do we mention Ukraine again? Because the problem is what do you say that's different? It's atrocious. It's horrible. It's the fact that it's still going and killing, and people, like innocent people, are still dying. It's awful. It is a horrible, horrible situation. And, despite like the UK pledging 2.5 billion in military aid now, which is wonderful, the fuck that money's coming from, I don't know. But it's just, again, what else do we say, except for the fact that, yes, it's still going on. It's horrific. It's horrible. And hopefully there's an end soon to it. But I mean, there's other wars that are teetering on the edge at the moment. Yeah. So, unfortunately, humans. Humans gonna human.
Yeah, there's the whole kind of Middle Eastern conflicts and stuff that are happening right now.
Yeah,
which I read about, and it's like, how many wars do you support? And I'm sure the atrocities being committed in those ones are just the same as what's happening in Ukraine, but because there's white people involved in Ukraine, we're more interested, which is a bit of a sad truth.
Yeah. I mean,
well, the media is.
I know
not speaking person.
Yeah, I know there's going to be a lot of people that don't like hearing that, but it's true. I mean, any conflict that has more unfortunately, when it has like the Western side more involved, or color of the skin and things like that, I mean, it's disgusting that the media doesn't just equally cover everything. They're just like, that's the one going on now. Unless that war starts, let's not.
Or if it's like more of a third world country, it's like, they're different from us. Like, it's not all about the skin color, but it's a class thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Which, unfortunately, that class system needs to be ripped apart because it doesn't make you better than anyone, like at all. But
terrible.
I have one more news thing, kind of a gaming thing, I guess, so we could switch into the gaming side of things.
Yeah.
Just to quickly mention this, so Twitch obviously had a new CEO, put in charge, and he recently actually did like a big interview where he talked very openly. I've never seen a CEO do this, but he talked extremely openly about the fact that Twitch is not profitable. It hasn't been for a very, very long time, and they are trying to find ways to obviously make it more profitable. So if you do have Amazon Prime, there has been hints dropped that Prime subbing is going to change. It's no longer going to be a free thing, I don't think. This is just my personal opinion. They're going to charge for it because, I mean, essentially you're just costing Twitch money. It's a free sub. It's a great thing that Twitch has, thanks to Amazon buying them out. But yeah, it's losing them a lot of money. They've obviously just laid off another 500 members of staff as well, which is 35% of their workforce. I mean, this isn't the first big sort of drop to, staff that they've done. As someone that streams on Twitch, I mean, I have fun, but I mean, I think if it disappeared, I don't really think it's going to affect the streaming landscape too much. Because I think a lot of people will just go over to these new sites or go to YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube.
YouTube can do it now, and all right, it's not as good as Twitch. I think there's still a few things that need to be worked out, but it does have higher bit rates. So you can stream in better quality. It has a good chat system finally that's been set up, and you can link it to your YouTube channel, so you can do two things at once. It just makes more sense. So I mean, I don't think Twitch is going to be around for another 10 years. I've got a funny feeling it will probably crumble because it's losing too much money.
It's quite sad, really, because that's where it all kind of started, isn't it?
Yeah, Twitch used to be the giant for streaming.
But now YouTube was obviously been there before, and it's like they can just use that infrastructure for the streaming. Yeah.
They've still, I
feel like that will take over.
I think YouTube's still got a lot of work to do on their live streaming, but I mean, they can do it. They've done it before, and I mean, you've got Kick now, which I personally haven't used. But I mean, you have got that. That's rising really quickly, and in popularity, it's growing. I think unfortunately, Twitch just hasn't been profitable for Amazon, and we all know Amazon. They don't give a shit about people. They just care about money. So,
Amazon subsidizing it probably, but when the figures start to go too low, I think they will drop it.
Yeah, they'll just go fold it. What's the point? It's just losing us money, and I think that's going to be a shame because as someone that has streamed on Twitch for nigh on a decade now, I think it'll be really sad if it goes. I think it'll be a lot of people will be very sad. I mean, also to consider the fact that a lot of people will lose their livelihoods. There are people on Twitch that just scrape by or make enough to actually survive and live every month. They're going to lose their jobs overnight like that. But hopefully that doesn't happen. Of course, we hope for the best. But I mean, it's definitely a scary area right now for Twitch to be in. But
and the less money people make on Twitch, they will just go over to a rival.
Yeah, I mean, YouTube, you can make a lot more money, and you can grow on YouTube. I mean, Christ, the amount of times I've thought about switching because it just makes sense. But I've stuck it out.
And you can make the shorts as well. I know Twitch has started doing the shorts now.
Yeah,
obviously trying to copy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really being used though.
No,
you can make clips. You make the clips all the time, obviously, which is useful. But I mean, even the clips on how I do my shorts for YouTube is literally through the clip system on Twitch. I just clip the thing.
Yeah.
It does it all for me. So it provides a service for another platform, which is
You're really helping yourself there, Twitch.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, we'll see, but. Yeah, I think it would definitely be a shame. I've met some very wonderful people through Twitch. So,
Yes,
so I still remember that. How long ago was that? That must have been what? I was playing Last of Us, wasn't I? Number one?
I
Or
think I
was
was
it?
about 20, so about 9 years ago.
Fucking hell.
Haven't we grown?
Oh, 9 years. Yeah, because it was Beyond Two Souls, because I kept calling him Ivan.
Oh yeah. Well, I think the first thing I watched you play was Alien Isolation. Oh, it may have been Battlefront with Tim or something.
Yeah, something along those lines. Yeah. Oh, I miss those days.
But
I do miss
yeah.
playing those games with him. But such is life. But yeah, should we get on to some gaming stuff then? What we've been
yeah,
playing
let's
and doing?
segue onto game.
Yeah.
God, what have I been playing? Well, we might as well talk about Fortnite because it did get a new chapter release, and with that chapter release, it released
Yeah.
3 more games within the
It's fucking
Fortnite
nuts.
universe. So Fortnite is not just Battle Royale anymore; it's Fortnite Battle Royale, Fortnite Lego, Fortnite Lego, bloody
Survival,
Rocket League, and
Lego Survival, Miniature Guitar Hero, and Rocket
Rocket
League.
Racing. Yeah,
Like,
which
it's
is made by the studio who does Rocket League.
it's crazy. Like Epic have done an incredible job with it, and don't forget as well. I know people don't talk about it anymore, but they've got Save the World. It's a campaign that they have.
And Save the World. Yeah.
It's nuts. It's fucking crazy. How the fuck? Like, it's Fortnite's just going to become. Hey, you can play Fortnite because you can play anything. Like,
Yeah,
literally.
Fortnite is now a franchise.
Literally, yeah. It's nuts. I think there was a Fortnite movie being made as well, isn't there?
It has to be. It just has to be.
But yeah, I mean, there's so. I mean, we've obviously tried I've tried a few things with you,
Yeah.
which is cool.
Well, more than a few.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's great, and I know that there's rumors of like an actual guitar being made specifically for the Fortnite music
Yeah,
stuff,
the festival. Yeah,
which is Guitar Hero.
it's good. It definitely needs that extra like thing because playing with controller just isn't the same.
No.
For a lot of people that used to play rock Band and Guitar Hero and stuff.
Yeah,
I think it's made by the people who did Rock Band. So it's amazing how they collaborated with all these companies to kind of have something within this universe.
it's crazy.
But yeah, well done to them. They are clearly making an absolute killing, and they're trying to make it even more. I mean, this shop in there is like so bloated with stuff that I know they did come under a bit of fire for having like really expensive cars and stuff, and it's like ridiculously priced.
I mean, the thing is, with Fortnite, it's a money making machine. You know, there's over I think what 3 million players averagely all the time on Fortnite now.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And I mean, granted, it is free to play, so all this stuff is free. So I mean, yep, they've got to have some way of making money. But yeah, I think some of the stuff now is getting pretty ridiculous. You know, like the music stuff is cool, like you can buy songs and stuff, but it's so expensive just for one song. Like I don't know.
It's like, why not just play the free stuff? Yeah. Like, and you can't even use the songs as like background tracks at the moment for like your lobby, which is I think they're changing that in a future update. But
yeah, I imagine they probably will.
I think they're on like a Christmas break at the minute or something.
Yeah. Well, look, all I'll say is fair play to Fortnite. Not only has it innovated and got better, but they've got a movie on the way. They've managed to create something that is so quite literally the perfect live service. I think.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying it's perfect in a sense of monetization, don't get me wrong, but if you look at any live service, which is the one that you would probably say is
it's probably the most generous one of the lot. Because looking at the Lego mod they made, they've like converted a lot of the skins that you already had like into Lego versions, and they could have easily charged you a premium for that. And if you and you can technically, not ever pay a penny and still, somehow manage to keep on getting more and more V-Bucks and just by playing for free.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's literally the.
And that's something that I don't think any live service that I can think of gives away the premium currency in the free things, unless it's maybe Call of Duty or something. But do you get enough?
I mean, wow. I mean, it's made 26 billion to date.
Well,
that is fucking ridiculous. I mean, in 2022 alone, it made 6 billion. So that should tell you, like, just right there, like, how impressive Fortnite has become.
Yeah.
I'm not saying their practices are perfect, but I mean, you can't say they don't give you a bunch of shit for free.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they've done a very good job, so fair play to them.
And I have been playing a little bit of Plague Tale Requiem, but which was included in the Plus games for January, but I haven't really got too far into it. I think Hugo just annoyed me too much.
I mean, I platinumed the first one. I am going to play the second one because obviously it was free. We both were essential, so I was like, oh, I'll grab them because I liked the story of the first one, but I didn't like, you know, what was the name? What
I like the story. Rat Palpatine.
Rat Palpatine.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I like the story for the first one, but it's like one of those games which I don't think I would ever be inclined to buy or like really that interested. Like it was good, but was it that good? I don't know.
was it? Yeah.
A bit overhyped, maybe.
Yeah, I definitely overhyped. Absolutely.
But don't get me wrong, it is still a good game, but
it's a fantastic game. But just, I don't know. The first one story was great, but it was a little bit repetitive after halfway through.
Yeah, pacing was a little bit slow.
That's what I'm worried about with the second one, but I will play it. Also, since we're on the subject, the PSN games for January are obviously out now. So you got Evil West for PS4, PS5. I'm looking forward to playing that one actually. That one. I
played for a little bit. It's quite good. Very fast paced. It's nice to get one of those kind of old school style of games back where you just kind of play a linear story and you know that's that.
Yeah. It's definitely
very fun.
And then you've got Nobody Saves the World, which actually looks quite cute and quite good. I'll be honest, they've done good for this month. I mean, I don't have extra or premium anymore. No. I'm down to essential because it's so expensive. But they've done really good. Like the games that are coming out in the classic catalogue this month, actually really good.
You know the reason for that though.
January.
Turn over a new year. Make sure like you get them in early.
Yeah, exactly.
When everyone's got their Christmas money.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I mean,
which is what I did.
They've got a lot of good ones coming out.
I can guarantee you 3 months of shit now.
Guaranteed. Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be 3 months of arse.
This is the first year in like about I don't know 5 or 6 years that I haven't been like able to get a discount on PS Plus, which is very disappointing. I'm not mad. I'm disappointed.
No, I'm disappointed.
But yeah, because like we've always been given these kind of discounts, like 25% off, 30% off, or something like that on Black Friday or on Christmas. But now they just don't do it anymore, and they don't reward loyal customers. You have to be a new customer to get access to any expired.
I try to find better deals now elsewhere to get my Plus and stuff if I can.
Well, I definitely get the credit from like Shop 2 or something, and then that brings it down a little bit. But I think I had like 15 quid's worth of credit on there, so I literally saved that for a year.
Yeah.
And like put it towards it so I get like a little discount of my own. And the PlayStation Stars thing is quite good, and it like counts towards that. So I got an extra $5 from doing that.
Stars is definitely getting there. You know, it's. I think it's still got a long way to go, but it's got better as time has gone on. I don't think anyone can sort of deny that. I guess they have got more opportunities to get easy points and stuff now, but they're still a little bit too low for my liking. Like, there's still a lot that who gives a shit about than like a digital fucking collectible.
You've always got to constantly check it as well because they don't. There's no notification or anything that there's something that you can give you points.
Yeah.
You've got to keep. I know. I looked on it today, and there's one thing that gives you 50 points, which is quite good. It's like just playing multiplayer on Genshin or something, or something else. But it's one that can easily be accessible. You should really advertise this kind of thing. Also, people don't know.
There is a big fucking problem with Stars as well. Can we point out that if you buy a physical game copy and then put that game copy in there, it doesn't count as finishing one of the things, even if it's about the game? The fuck's that about PlayStation? Why do I have to have it digitally? Fuck off.
I get a lot of complaints about that.
Fucking Sony. It's a Sony thing. Like, we want money. Fuck off. You don't deserve that. Make an effort, okay? Like,
I know Nintendo at least, they did give you some points for getting the physical games, but you get more for getting digital. Like, I can understand kind of a bit why, but
like
they are very stingy.
I got a few physical games behind me. They were the last games I bought last year probably won't be buying any more games now unless I get them off like CD keys or something for dirt cheap.
Yeah, I'm usually
like
just
dirt
getting the
cheap.
backlog then.
But like I've got like God of War Ragnarok and Spider-Man 2 and Dead Island 2, and there's like 3 challenges about owning those games. But if I put the disc in, I won't get the extra 50 points or 250 points. I think it is for Ragnarok, and it's like, so I spend money on your game, and yet you're still not rewarding.
Not playing the right version.
Not playing it digitally. Go fuck yourself. It's like bit shit.
It is one of them many things that is hinting towards a digital only future.
I don't like it. I think the thing is, like, don't get me wrong, I've been playing Alan Wake 2, and it's a phenomenal game, right? I highly recommend people go and play it.
Yeah, I watched someone play a little bit of that, and I saw like it's kind of like music video-esque section.
Oh, God, the music in that game. Oh.
And they were doing like this dance.
I love it. It's so good. Like, everything about Alan Wake. It's why there's a reason I have it tattooed on my hand. I
was like, okay, I might give this series some attention now.
Yeah, I mean,
that was pretty cool.
Fucking adore them. They're a phenomenal games. And Alan Wake 2 is like a level above anything. But Remedy are refusing to do a physical copy. And it's like, why? Like, just do I know it costs them money, and obviously they save a lot of money by not doing physical, but if you have a physical copy, you own that copy. It's yours. No matter what, you can play it. If it's digital, it's gone. Marvel Avengers, everything else. It's like, it's all gone now. Can't play it.
Yeah, I keep meaning to download that again because all the store stuff became free. But I don't know. It's so much space for like such little game.
And that game is torture. But yeah, to talk quickly about the Plus, Extra, and Premium stuff that's coming out. So they have got a very good month. You got Tiny Tina's Wonderland, the Next Level edition, so it's like the bonus edition as well. You got Resident Evil 2 Remake, Hard Space Shipbreaker, Lego City Undercover, Just Cause 3, Session, which is like a skate sim, Shadow Tactics, Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song, Surviving the Aftermath. So pretty good for Extra.
Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song is a terrible game.
But I mean, Tiny Tina's Wonderland, very good. Shipbreaker, Resident Evil 2 Remake, they were actually pretty stellar. That's pretty good. I mean, there's a few obviously questionable ones, but good lineup.
I remember my sister's partner lent me that Vampire Swan Song one. I think I got it's just terrible acting, and like the story is just so slow. I didn't really get far into it. I was like, I just can't be asked for this.
Yeah.
But yeah, for people who actually like them, I'm sure they find some enjoyment in them.
And then Premium, they've got Rallycross, you've got Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Pretty good. Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Edition, Legend of Mana, Secret of Mana, and that's it. So, I know that I've never played the Mana games, right? But I know that they are extremely popular. So the fact that they've actually got them out, that's a definite plus, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
They've done good.
For people who are interested in the retro games and don't want to go and get the retro consoles.
Oh, it's harder and harder to get those things out, isn't it? So
yeah,
it's nice that they're doing this, but Sony just need to be better with it. Yeah,
absolutely.
But yes. Any other games that you've been playing, sir?
I've not got anything else on here, but please feel free to talk about the plethora of games.
I'll talk about the few. I'll talk about the highlights, I guess. So I played Phantom Liberty from Cyberpunk, and phenomenal. Idris Elba, and again, that game is like a different game now, much better, very good. Well done, CD. I appreciate the fact you fixed your game.
Yeah, I do like a good happy story when it comes to games.
Yeah. And it gives me hope for their next game now, because hopefully they'll actually take it more seriously and not rush it out the door. They'll do what CD do. Cook it in the oven as long as they need to, and then release it. Been playing more Hogwarts Legacy. I'm slowly getting through that now. Got some more trophies sorted in it, and I'm enjoying it. I think it's a good game. Again, I know there's going to be someone who's going to be like, oh, Jacob. I could not give a fuck about the woman, right? I don't give a shit. She can say all she wants that people who buy her games or buy her IP support her. I do not. She's a prick, and that is my opinion. But I'm not going to stop playing a fucking game that I enjoy, that I bought secondhand specifically so they didn't get money. I'm good. And it's a good game, so fuck them. I'm sorry.
It is a good game. It's great for, it really captures the essence of Hogwarts and, the wizarding world.
And I think it's a damn shame that people were so fucking hostile towards it, because clearly the devs put a lot of love and attention into this. So I'm not going to poo-poo on it at all. It's a phenomenal game.
People need to just separate these two things, which are they're not linked hardly in any way, apart from the creative ideas of one person.
Yeah.
Which is
it's hard to do. I get it. I understand people are like, oh, but you're supporting her. No, I am not.
How much enjoyment have you got from the Hogwarts and the Harry Potter films?
Exactly.
Like, let's just say
it's integrally British as well. Like, let's not fuck around here. When you were a kid, you watched Harry Potter at Christmas. Like most of us did. So
I mean,
yeah.
If you heard the internal opinions of many directors or writers that create your content, I'm sure you'll be equally as horrified.
Exactly.
So
yes. Resident Evil 4 remake. So good. It's very, very good. I recommend if you can get a copy of it for a little bit cheaper, go for it, because it's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
But that's PlayStation. I've played a few itch.io horrors, which have been really fun.
Itch.io?
Itch.io. Basically where a lot of indie devs put their games up, and you can try them out and play them. I've done a lot of them, so I'll leave a link to a few of my favourites down below, so you guys can go and check them out and support them if you can. Because I think indie devs deserve a little bit of support,
Absolutely, yeah.
So
it's good to just try them out and stuff.
I love
maybe one day they'll become big.
I prefer playing indie games these days to big AAA games. They tend to be more fun and enjoyable and engaging. So
definitely, you can tell the passion that's gone into it. Like just a couple of people, rather than the corporate kind of large scale things.
Buy our game and then spend more money.
Yeah.
But yeah. Good times.
Shall we talk about movies then?
Oh, let's get into films. I like it.
Films. Shall we start with old stuff and then work our way to recent stuff?
Let's do our best. I'll try and remember what I've watched.
I know. I think I've watched quite a lot of stuff, especially over the Christmas period. Yeah. I just remember another one. Okay, right. I will. Over the Christmas kind of break, I went to watch the original Die Hard for the first time. After never seeing it before, I was like, oh, this is actually quite good.
I remember seeing the picture. It looks so cool.
I know, it's like a special screening thing. There's one tickets for that, which I was like, oh, okay. Ooh, nice. This will double up as a Christmas present, a Christmas treat experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty good, actually. I understand why it has the iconic status it does have for a Christmas film, and yeah, it definitely is a Christmas. What's the villain's name? Snape. Forgot his name.
Hans.
Yes, Hans Gruber. Yes. Obviously, wonderfully played by the actor, which I also forgot the name of. Alan Rickman, and he pretty much makes that villain role work, and no one can come close to him in the sequels, I must say. Die Hard 2, I ended up watching Die Hard 1 to 4, I watched the other ones on Disney after I got back, and 2 is just a carbon copy of 1, but kind of boring. 3 is actually quite good, to be fair. It's got Samuel L. Jackson in there, and it's got Simon Gruber, Hans Gruber's brother in there, it's quite a nice tie back to the original and something fresh and different. 4 was kind of okay as well, a bit more in the modern era,
and then from there
with the whole hacking thing. But yeah, and apparently I've not seen 5, I don't think, but apparently it's trash.
Yeah, not great.
But yeah, it just makes me think of Bruce Willis was so good back in the day. It's a shame what's happened to him as of recent, but he's still going and he's still strong, and we send love.
We send love to Juicy Brucey.
Yeah, Juicy Brucey. Yes,
yes, definitely.
But yeah, I'll do one more and then you can go ahead. I watched Thanksgiving in the cinema, which I was quite happy to see. It's one of the horrors on my list, which I thought, okay, this is going to be, one of the good horrors of the year, and it actually was. It's quite along the lines of Scream and stuff like that. It's got that kind of whodunit aspect to it. Not quite as great as some of them, but it's quite cliche and a little bit cheesy in parts. But it's a decent flick, and I would recommend it. Yeah, quite gory as well, which I was quite surprised about.
Ooh.
It's one of those fun ones. I definitely recommend it around the festive period.
Yeah. Fair.
But yeah, for go ahead, a good sir.
I literally have one that I can think of. But recently I watched Oppenheimer.
Oh,
A long film, 3 hours, and it was a bit slow at times. But as someone that has watched documentaries on Oppenheimer and the bomb and learned all about that stuff, I personally enjoyed the film quite a lot. I thought Cillian Murphy did a fantastic job playing Oppenheimer. It was interesting to see kind of that Oppenheimer, although a genius, was a bit of an asshole. Like,
yeah,
he was a bit of a prick. Matt Damon's performance in it was good. Obviously, I mean, it's Matt Damon.
yeah.
There was a lot of big actors in there that you know you just have a small part, like Mali Ramick, is that how you say his name? Oh Christ.
Yeah.
He had like a small role in it. You had Josh Peck had the role as one of the scientists. You're like, what? But yeah, it was. I thought it was a good film. Probably a little bit too long and a little bit slow. But
Did you pair it with Barbie?
I did not. No, I still have not watched Barbie, so I still need to watch it. So
I'll let you watch it with Robin. Just,
yeah.
Well, speaking of kind of based on true events thing, I watched One Life literally on Wednesday. It's got Anthony Hopkins in it. Quite a good film. Kind of a little bit slow to start with, and I was kind of expecting like a little bit more grittiness. It's about rescuing European kids during the Nazi occupation of like Prague and places like that. And he managed to save like 669 kids and brought them back to the UK and housed them with families and stuff. Well, the parents, God knows, sent to concentration camps and stuff like that. And it's really nice to kind of see Anthony Hopkins in there. He's not in like the entire thing. He's just like in the modern day segments, and then someone else plays a younger version of him back in this war-torn Europe. But yeah, it's a very good film and quite moving in parts. And there was a UK TV show called That's Life, which was aired like in the UK, and they did like this thing where he went on the show and like he was reunited with one of the kids he rescued because he never maintained contact with them since he rescued them. And then they were like, "Would anyone else rescued by this man?" Then the whole audience stood up, and it's like a big emotive moment because he's like reunited with all these kids he saved. It's like really like oh.
I remember seeing the actual video of that.
Yeah, I had really had no idea what to expect when I went in to watch it because my mum wanted to watch it, so we went. But then I remember it's like something like in my brain remembered the fact that this happened in in the UK. I remember seeing that clip. But yeah, it's a very heartwarming story. It's a very nice man. Anthony Hopkins plays him well. It's nice to see him at 86 or something years old, still acting his chops off.
Of course.
But yeah. From a different angle, and speaking of old actors, we'll move on to Saw X, I suppose. That is, I quite enjoyed this film. Tobin Bell, 81 years old, still acting his chops off again, and probably he gets more screen time in this one than any of the other ones, which is nice. It's nice to focus on him.
Yeah,
and it's a Saw film that actually has a heart for a change, and obviously it's trying to intentionally make you feel more emotive. I won't give any spoilers away or anything. It's a different kind of film than the other ones, but with still the Saw element, of course, and the traps.
Of course.
But it makes you feel things you probably haven't felt in other Saw films, and yeah. And let's just say, the ending had us all on the edge of our seats. But yeah, I think it's definitely paving the way for further sequels, which I wouldn't mind. Yeah. Keep on going with the franchise. It's come into its own. It's a franchise that is well known by everyone. And who doesn't like watching people struggle in bloody saw traps and seeing what happens?
Exactly.
But yeah, I actually enjoyed it. I surprisingly enjoyed it more than I thought I would, because I was like, oh, another Saw film, Saw X, and especially because the previous few, Jigsaw and Saw the final chapter and all this kind of haven't been as good, and Spiral. But yeah, recommended.
Good, because I
Get it on the cheap or on the streaming.
I have rented it because it was on sale for renting. So
Yeah,
I could actually watch
that's
it.
what I waited for. I waited for it to go like down because it was like 16 quid or something, but it was like $4.99 to like rent it in HD. So I did that with some points I've been saving up.
Yes.
I just got one more.
Yeah.
There was Top Gun Maverick, which it's I quite enjoyed it for what it was. It's one of them old school Hollywood blockbusters, but they actually did quite well with it. It's like you know what you get into when you go and watch Top Gun.
Yeah.
I think the fact that I don't think I've ever seen the original in its entirety probably helped the fact that I enjoyed it a bit more, because people will be, oh, it's not good original. But yeah, it was definitely a great one just to watch and switch off for a bit and see Tom Cruise acting and still getting down with the kids and still playing volleyball on the beach with all these like 18-year-olds with ripped bodies, and he's just there like, hey guys, look at my dad bod. But yeah, it is a fun one to watch. I definitely recommend it. Just as for your average Friday night enjoyment experience. We should really start giving movies ratings, shouldn't we?
Do you know what? That's something we can do next time.
Yeah. Then we can like keep a little tally and then look back on them and say, oh yeah, maybe it's changed. But I think my like opinions of films do kind of tend to change a little bit, like, and TV series, the more I kind of rewatch them and stuff. Okay, maybe that wasn't a 6, maybe it was a 6.5 or a 7.
Yeah.
But it's nice to get that initial impression, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah,
I think that's it.
That is it.
We did it. We finally did it on the podcast.
Yes. Did you want to talk a little bit about Leftovers, or we've not actually finished season 1 yet?
Yeah. I mean, you've watched it, haven't you? But
I've watched it. I think I've mentioned it on a previous one about it being like a good series, one that it makes you think, one that doesn't hand feed you all the answers, but kind of let you kind of roll with things.
I like it. I've really enjoyed it so far. It's been good.
I know the next episode we've got up, it does give you some more insight, and I think it'll be very enjoyable for us all.
2 episodes left now for season 1, haven't we? And then
season 1 is known to be quite gloomy and quite depressing, I suppose, but it kind of works in some ways because you've got like the depressing scenes, but the beautiful music in the background. You just okay. It's a vibe. It's a vibe.
Definitely a vibe. I am.
And as far as season 2 and 3, you don't know what's coming.
I know one thing.
It gets wild, but it also doesn't get wild. And yes, you know that one thing.
I know the one thing. But yeah, no, looking forward to watching more of that because it has been very good.
The acting is all great.
Yeah, it's all amazing. It's all done very well. So, excuse me.
But yeah, I think that does put a full stop on that section and the podcast.
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. We are going to hopefully be doing them every 2 weeks now. I'm going to make a note of it, so I'll message Sean that week and we'll get it sorted. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. As always, we do enjoy doing this. Sorry the fact that it's been 3 months since we did one.
We finally scratched that podcast itch.
Yeah, a lot happened, but we're here now and we're happy, and we're going to hopefully be doing more episodes with Sean's wonderful glasses and that beautiful face of his.
Cross-eyed.
Yeah. Thank you to everyone for watching.
I can see clearly now the rain has gone.
The rain has never gone in Wales. But yeah, thank you for watching. Take care, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.